Hello, this is Dale Deutsch again, talking again about the worst possible thing that could happen to this country, Donald Trump, his big, ugly, half-witted bill that does not do anything for anybody but the very, very wealthy. Uh, this is not rocket science. This is why Republicans recorded it or did it in the early hours of the morning so that people wouldn't be seeing, couldn't see it happening live unless you have no place to be on a Thursday. This is ridiculous, and we all know it. We have a, I hate to use the word president, but he does not, he is the president, but he is the absolute worst president in the history of the nation. We all know it. It's not news to anybody. But we all know that the current government, the way it's structured, is going to take away Medicaid. It's going to affect Medicare eventually if it gets through the Senate. It's going to affect Social Security. It's going to. Mark my words, it's going to happen. Uh, it's also going to make it next to impossible for most people to afford their health insurance. All because Donald Trump wants to give people at the top more money. This is never good. It never works for anybody but the people at the top. You do not balance a budget by killing people, and believe this is going to happen. People are going to die. This is not rocket science. It's clear. People are already dying. We have a gutted FEMA, and we've had tornadoes in Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Missouri, Tennessee, and they're not getting the help that they should be. If Kamala Harris was president right now, FEMA would have been on the ground actually before the storm showed up because they would have been pre-positioned and ready to help when needed. Not now. Thank you, Mr. Musk, who destroyed FEMA. He's destroying the federal government. I know he's backing off, but the damage is done. He's done the damage. It's wrong. It's wrong headed. It is dangerous. And like I said a minute ago, people will die. People are already dying from this. Kristi Noem, second one. Kristi Noem does not know, oh, well, I think she does know what habeas corpus is. She just was playing to Donald Trump. And we all know that the people in his government, his cabinet, the most unqualified, ridiculously unknowledgeable people ever put in positions of power in our government. They all do not understand the departments they're supposed to be running. I mean, Kristi Noem has to have known what habeas corpus is. We have Stephen Miller talking about suspending habeas corpus. He said it's been done in wartime. Well, we haven't been at war in over a year. We're not at war with Venezuela. We're not at war with anybody in the world right now, except for maybe the Houthis, which Okay. But, when you have a defense secretary tweeting out or putting on an unsecured app the attack plans and then saying, well, it's not classified information. Right. And my hair's not white. This is stupid. These people are going to destroy the company. It's already happening. Now, those of you who have followed me on Facebook have heard me say in the past that I figured March would be when the economic crash came. Mark my words, people. It started in March. It's about to get bad. When prices and empty shelves are there, when we got COVID style empty shelves at Walmart and prices going through the roof on everything, Target and Walmart have already said they're increasing prices. Everybody else is going to too. But they're afraid of Donald Trump and a mean tweet. So they're not going to tell you. You're just going to notice it when you go to the grocery store and what cost you maybe $160 last week is going to cost you $200 this week or more. It's going to happen, folks. And the crash started in March. We saw it with the stock market and this insane, stupid, I mean, goddamn dumb tariff policy that Donald Trump and all of his, that idiot who does his press conferences, press briefing, claiming that tariffs are a tax on foreign countries. Lawrence McDonald said this back in January. He said it back in February. He said it back last November. He said it back last September. All through the campaign, he said this. The United States does not have the ability to impose taxes on foreign governments. And I don't understand why people don't understand that, because that is common sense. People are not as stupid as what the Republicans think they are. Maggots, yeah, I believe they are that stupid because I still hear it. I live in deep red West Virginia. I still hear people telling me how great a job Donald Trump is doing. He's getting these criminals out of our country. No, he's not. Abrego Garcia is not a criminal. He had protected service. He was under an order where he could not be deported to El Salvador. And they keep saying, well, he's a human trafficker. And they keep saying he's a gang member, but they never ever show anything but a doctored photo of his fist that even comes close. I mean, it obviously photoshopped, MS-13 on his knuckles. Give me a break, people. Anybody who actually believes that that man, who I don't for a minute believe is a saint, but anybody who actually believes that he has MS-13 tattooed on his fist, eh, the IQ test doesn't go that low where you not understand that that's horseshit. And some of you may be getting a little uh, upset about my use of language, but I'm so angry right now after what happened last night and this morning with that big, stupid bill. Republicans right now are celebrating, but the problem is it's still got to get through the Senate, and it's probably going to go back to the House with significant changes to it. But Some of the Republicans who voted against it, a couple of them who were saying they were going to vote against it, were not going to vote for it because it wasn't cruel enough. I'm sorry, not cruel enough. Kicking people, children, off of Medicaid and food stamps when prices are going to be going up just so Elon Musk can have one more government contract, or Jeff Bezos can get an even lower tax rate, or an even idiotically low tax rates right now. Now, I have said this before and I'll say it again. You do not balance a budget by raising taxes on the poor, which is exactly what this bill does. It raises taxes and makes life harder for the people who actually make things work in this country. How you do it is the way Bill Clinton did it. He raised taxes on the rich and lowered taxes on the working class. And lo and behold, we had a strong economy, strong and growing. Joe Biden had the strongest economy in the world at the time he left office a couple of months ago. Now, we have been downgraded by the last of the three major credit rating companies, Moody's. We've been downgraded from AAA to AA plus, which is going to help bring about the economic collapse that I've been predicting since last November. People must understand this. This is not good for the country. This is not going to be good for American citizens. This is going to hurt people, and people are going to die. People who cannot get the health care that they need now are going to find it even worse if this thing gets through the Senate and gets to the president's desk, because he will gleefully sign it. Probably with an auto pen. Stupid son of a bitch. The problem I have with Donald Trump is the problem I've had since I first met him in 1984. And yes, I did meet him in 1984 when I took a trip to the Trump Tower in New Jersey. That was the most conceited, stinking man I've ever met. Now, I don't say I know him. I never knew him. He just came around to the table where I was with a group of people at a sales convention and was working the room. And everything he said was about him. It's no different now than it was then. Everything he said was about him. Even though the company that my wife worked for at the time had just rented that ballroom for this convention, had nothing to do with him. It was just at the time, I think the newest hotel in New Jersey and in Atlantic City. The thing is, he was a horrible person then. He's even worse now because not only is he a malignant narcissist then, he's also in steep, obvious mental decline. And people do not seem to understand that. I was watching Morning Joe this morning because I had to get up and go to a doctor's appointment, and I was getting ready, and Morning Joe was on, and they were talking about uh, buyer's remorse with Donald Trump with his voters. But many of those voters wouldn't have voted for Kamala Harris, wouldn't have changed their vote to Kamala Harris if they knew what was going on now. And they were saying something incredibly stupid would sometimes happen on that show, like going down to Mar-a-Lago to have a thumbs up picture with Donnie Dipshit. They were saying that that she didn't have strong marks on the economy. She was the vice president during the Biden White House when we had the strongest economy in the world. Somebody tell me why people don't think she had what it took to get the economy even stronger. Every, every, every idea that she had was going to strengthen the economy. She had an incredibly great idea about affordable housing and building affordable housing and making it easier for people to afford. What did we vote for? American maggots, what did you vote for? You voted for the opposite. You voted for a guy who we're already seeing home mortgage rates going up. They would have been coming down if Kamala Harris was president. So get a clue, people. The Democrats always do better on the economy. Every time. Bill Clinton actually cleaned up the mess that Ronald Reagan and George H.W. Bush did. We went from the largest budget deficit in our country's history to a budget surplus with Bill Clinton. Then we got W, who took that surplus, and within a year we were we had a deficit again. Then we got Obama, who again started reducing the deficit. Only two presidents in the last 50 years to do that were Obama and Biden. Obama and Clinton. Biden was taking steps, but he was had the problem of he inherited the worst economy in the world thanks to the mismanagement of that dumbass that's in White House now. Donnie Dipshit bankrupted the country because he so mishandled COVID. He destroyed, he nearly collapsed our economy. This close. It was on a razor thin margin of being total collapse, which would have collapsed the entire world's economy. He got it back. Things got better. We had strong job growth just about every quarter that he was president. That's not happening now, folks. We are getting fewer jobs. We have layoffs at the VA, 80,000 plus fired by Donald Trump and Elon Musk. That's just one government agency. We've got children in our country and in Sudan and in other parts of the country who are starving to death, who we were sending, the government was buying surplus food from farmers, putting money in the farmers' pockets, and sending it to them for them to eat, to keep them alive. People are already dying because of what Donald Trump and the felon Musk did to USAID. People are right in the middle of drug trials in Africa for HIV/AIDS drugs. Those trials were cut off just like that. No, no, no. How do you do? No, thanks. No, just we're cutting off the funds. And they put Marco Rubio in charge of USAID. Okay, he can barely handle his main job, which is Secretary of State. He was a terrible senator, and I guarantee you, there's a reason people didn't vote for him for president because he was no good. I'm sorry, but I cannot get behind any of these Republicans. This country is in danger, and it's because of the maggots who said, let's go back to the chaos and incompetence of the first Trump presidency. And what did they do? They got worse chaos and incompetence. We're less than 200 days into Donald Trump's second stab at the White House. Yesterday at the White House, with the president of South Africa and his mostly white cabinet in attendance, he was trying to lecture the president of South Africa on why it's so dangerous for white people in South Africa. Sorry, baloney. It's bullshit. White people in South Africa are doing at least as well as the white people in this country, especially the rich white people. They are the smallest amount of the population in South Africa, but they have the majority of the wealth. Gee, sound familiar? Get me some evidence, any evidence other than an aerial view of white crosses of 1,000 dead white South Africans. They all told him, no, this is not happening. And he kept insisting that this is exactly. And when the president of South Africa said, can you tell me where this is? Because I've never seen this before. He had no answer because he has no answer. Everything that comes out of that man's mouth is bullshit. He has no sense of reality. He has lost every piece, every grasp he had on anything that looked like reality. It's gone. The man is insane. Listen to the stuff he's saying. Try sometime and listen to one of his speeches. You can get them, they're online. Listen to one of his speeches, and you're going to tell me this guy is not in steep cognitive collapse. The man has dementia, plain and simple. Yeah, Joe Biden was not the same man last year that he was in 2020. Okay, everybody knows that, and even Joe Biden knew that. But he still, even if he was basically a head in a jar, would still have been a better president than the idiot we have now. The man that's in the White House right now is too stupid to be president. His cabinet is too stupid to be part of the government. I mean, Janine Pirro, as interim U.S. Attorney for Washington, D.C., she's dumber than the evil moron he had in there just prior to that. And she's never going to get Senate confirmation. But he's going to have a series of acting dis- uh, U.S. attorneys in D.C. and other jurisdictions around the country because he knows, and it's going to get even worse now, folks. As things progress with this moronic, evil rewrite, his cabinet picks, because they're not all going to be there at the end, but his cabinet picks are going to start falling like dominoes. Why? Because they're going to start getting uh, pushback from even their own right wing halfwits in Congress and the Senate. Why? Because it's going to start costing them. Their jobs are on the line because they're standing in lockstep with Donald Trump and Elon Musk and Stephen Miller and trying to inflict the most cruel policies in the history of our country. Notwithstanding, slavery was evil and wrong, and it was a real reason for the Civil War, regardless of what Nikki Haley wants to tell you. The problem is they are going to turn us into 1935 Germany. I mean, if you think a rational man wants to annex Canada, invade Iceland or Greenland, uh, uh, take the Panama Canal by force, you think these are rational people? You think a rational president would have taken a $400 million jet from the Qatari government that will never, in his presidency, be ready to be used as Air Force One? And one of the reasons the Qataris wanted to get rid of it, they've been trying to sell this thing for years. The only reason they want to sell it because there's a lot of airports in the world where the president would have to go that it is too large to land on their runways. It's not rocket science. And it's totally and absolutely unconstitutional. Now, I have no doubt that if it was put up in front of Congress, the maggots in Congress would say, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Go ahead, take this jet. Sorry, it's wrong. It's a bribe. It's always been a bribe. It's always going to be a bribe. They did not give him that and say, yeah, well, it's yours. Don't do with it as you choose. No, they're going to expect something in return. It is not, again, rocket science. You do not take gifts from corrupt governments without those corrupt governments expecting something from your corrupt government. And yes, folks, our government right now is as corrupt as it's ever been. It makes Richard Nixon look like a choir boy. I mean, I'm worked up. Now I want to do a shout out. On my way back from the VA this morning, I passed by the local office of our uh, Congressman Riley Moore, and there were protests. There was a group of people out there protesting in front of his office. I want to give a shout out to those people. Riley Moore is the House member from West Virginia, second, Martinsburg, West Virginia, Charlestown, West Virginia. These people were out in front of his office. I know he's got another office in the Charlestown area. I have no doubt that the people were there too. But yeah, shout out to those people. You're doing what needs to be done. We need to be out there showing it very clearly that these people who are trying to destroy your government, my government, our government, that we are not going to sit by and watch it happen. You are going to hear about it. Riley Moore, I promise you, you need to have a town hall. You need to explain to us, your constituents, why you voted for this evil bill. And yet it's evil. There is nothing good about what happened this morning with this idiotic, cruel bill. All you're going to do is kill people, and it's going to happen. People are going to die. Rural hospitals are going to close. Nursing home facilities are going to close. Kids are going to go hungry, even hungrier than they are now. And the school lunch program, make no mistake, folks, they're coming to that too. They're going to take away school lunches from children who can't afford, or maybe that's the only meal they get during the day. This is going to happen. The cruelty, as they say, is the point. The cruelty is what they're going for. This is the way things are going to be from now on. They are going to take and take and take from average working Americans, the working poor, the working families, the middle class. You're going to take it up the ass with a sandpaper condom. It's just the way it's going to happen. I cannot make that any nicer than I just did. We are going to take it. And Medicare cuts are going to be automatically triggered by this big, stupid bill because of uh, an offset clause, that's something that Congress passed years ago, that any tax increases or anything like that has to be offset with cuts. Taxes are going to go up on us, folks. It's going to go up on us. And I can guarantee you, when this bill gets to the Senate, the no tax on tips and no tax on Social Security, guess what? They're going to be inserted back in there by the Senate. It's going to happen. And because of the so incredibly incompetent president of the United States and his people, and the cruelty of Republicans in the House and Senate, things are going to collapse in this country. Our economy is already tanking. I've said it before, I said it in my first video. We are already in a recession. We just haven't seen the full force of it. We will be, by the end of this year, be in a worldwide depression because our economy is going to collapse. People, you've got to understand this. This is why this man has to be stopped. This is why these maggots in Congress need to be stopped. This is why next year, next November, we need to vote out the criminals that just did this to our people, to our children, to our elderly, to our veterans. We need to get them the hell out of the way so we can get this country back to where it should be, where it works for all the people, not just the very, very wealthy. There are ways to do that. You don't fix education by taking money away from education. You fix it by giving the resources that public schools need to succeed. Taking away money from public schools does not fix public schools. It hurts public schools. It hurts our children. This has to be driven home to everybody who votes for this moron and these morons. The education department is a necessary department. It oversees school lunches. It helps Pell Grants and things like that. I mean, come on. Did people really vote for this stupid shit? I'm sorry, but I didn't. I voted for Harris. In fact, let me get something that I got right after the election. Where the hell did it go? I'm sorry, folks. I must have misplaced it somewhere, but it's a bumper sticker that I've been waiting to put on my car, and I'll have to find it and I'll show it next time on next one of these videos. This says, "Don't blame me. I voted for Harris. I voted for competence, intelligence, rule of law, habeas corpus, all of these things. Those of you who voted for Trump voted for none of those things. In fact, you voted for the taking away of all of those things. We do not have a competent president. We do not have a competent Congress as long as Republicans and maggot Mike Johnson is in charge of the House as Speaker. We do not have a competent Congress right now. Last night's vote, or this morning's vote, is Exhibit A on that. So we must fight this stupidity. We must get competent, intelligent people who believe in the Constitution and the rule of law back in government. We cannot continue down this road. 4 years from now, God knows what this country is going to look like, but it is not going to be recognizable. So I'm going to end this here, and then I'm going to work on trying to get this better. I mean, try and do a little editing, like that little gap in my sitting here looking for that bumper sticker. But the thing is, it if you follow me on Facebook or on Threads, you've probably seen that bumper sticker because I'm proud of it, and that you can get them. You can still get them. Just look it up online. I don't remember the website, but look it up online. You can get those or other bumper stickers that show your displeasure with the idiot in chief. Okay. We have got to get this fixed, and it's not going to be fixed by voting in more people who do not understand that the people of this country is what this country is all about. we're coming up on the Memorial Day weekend. If you look back on the people who have died for this country, the people who stood on the line and said, I will fight, I will protect my nation. Donald Trump, remember when he said a few weeks ago in that Meet the Press interview, when asked, do you need to uphold the rule of law? I don't know. You need to uphold the Constitution? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'm sorry, folks. Read the Constitution, Donald John Trump, because it's right there. Or since we know you can't read very well, have somebody competent read it to you and explain the first 10 amendments, which are known as the Bill of Rights. Explain all of the amendments to give us habeas corpus, give us birthright citizenship, which is in the Constitution. Regardless of whether you like it or not, it's part of the Constitution. And if you don't like it, there's a way to change it. But you refuse to do it. You just said, I'm going to write my name on this piece of paper and it's gone. You're no longer birthright citizenship. Bullshit. It's still part of the Constitution. You did not get rid of anything. All you did was embarrass yourself and the rest of us. So, as you can tell, I'm a little more angry than I have in past videos. That's because what's happening to our country should be making all of us angry. There is absolutely no reason for us to be in this situation other than people that didn't understand that the guy who was at fault for the high prices we had in the first place, which wasn't Joe Biden, it's the idiot in the White House now who was president when COVID broke out. He's the cause of that. And he's not fixing it, he's making it worse. So please understand this. And with that, I am going to leave it there because if I keep on going here, I may get arrested because I hate the President of the United States right now. This is not the country I want my grandchildren to grow up in. This is not the country I want anybody's children to grow up in. This is not the country we had when I was a kid. Sure, we had our problems, but we were working and taking steps to fix those problems. Now we've got problems, and they're actively taking steps to destroy the country and create more problems. So when we're in a depression by January next year, remember, maggots, we fucking told you so. Thank you very much.